Had 3 power play goals in 5 chances, while Bowling Green answered with a 2 of 8 performance. And Will Clark kicked out 32 in the Bowling Green net. Marty Turco turned in a 26-save performance in the winning cause. On Saturday, the scene shifted to Joe Louis Arena in downtown Detroit. It was Michigan against Michigan State. Spartans had a good early chance when Steve Guala got in against Turco. But Turco smothers the puck and holds them off. Kevin Hilton sent in alone a little while later. Nice move on the defense, goes to the soft backhand, his 16th of the year, and Michigan's up 1-0. But Sean Barons answered, killing a penalty. He deflects it, comes up with a turnover, and goes in all alone high stick side, his 10th of the year, and it's a 1-all tie. That was about it for the Spartans. Warren Looning, from a great Hilton feed, gets the next Michigan goal into an empty cage. 2-1 is the score, 15th of the year for Looning. Then Hilton from Madden and Looning makes it a 3-1 score at the first intermission. In the second period, a couple of more for Michigan. John Madden, his 17th. Nice feed from Stephen Halko. He's in alone, and now it's 4-1. Michigan pulling away. Looning adds to the lead, his 16th and second of the game. Hilton and Madden the assist, 5-1 going to the third. Brendan Morrison, nice play right here. Open cage with a netminder down. He's got 18. Gordon and Sack on that assist. And Rick Willis, unassisted, shorthanded. Third of the year for the Michigan captain. It was 7-1. Michigan rolls at the Joe, and the title was theirs. Neither club did much with the power play, both 0 of 5, but special team scoring was decidedly to Michigan's advantage. 2 shorthanders and a 4-on-4 score, balanced against that 1 shorthander for the Spartans. Kevin Hilton was a clear offensive leader for Michigan in that game, and that, in combination with his effort against Bowling Green, has earned Hilton the nod as CCHA Offensive Player of the Week. The junior center from Monroe, Michigan, had 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists in the contest. Against Bowling Green, 2 points, 1 of each. Against Michigan State, 4 points, 2 of each. He assisted on the game-winning goal each night. And so now, with the title safely tucked away, there is at least some measure of pressure off Michigan. Their league title assures them a berth in the NCAA tournament next month. However, a top seed is not assured, not just yet. Ranked second in all the polls this week, Michigan has 4 league games left. Ferris, Notre Dame this week, Miami and Ohio State next, and then the league playoffs begin. They could certainly get the #1 seed in the West, but they have yet to earn that. In a few moments, we will huddle with Michigan head coach Red Berenson to talk about his team's latest title. First, a look at a growing Lakers strength next on the Digest.
If you need extra strength medication to treat itchy skin, you're not alone.
I was always itching, I was always scratching, I felt miserable.
Now you can solve your itchy skin problems with new Extra Strength Gold Bond medicated powder.
With the Extra Strength Gold Bond, the itch is gone.
Extra Strength Gold Bond has an extra strength triple action formula. We take our proven absorbing action, then add more pain reliever for medicating action, and extra zinc oxide for drying action.
I recommend Extra Strength Gold Bond to all my friends because it works.
New Extra Strength Gold Bond medicated powder.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell, no odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Tim Conway's back, and he's hauling in a whopper. It's Dorf Goes Fishing, this year's funniest comedy home video. Let Tim Conway, as that master sportsman Dorf, show you everything you've always wanted to know about fishing. Go back in time to man's first fishing method. Let Dorf show you what to wear, how to clean your day's catch, how to get in shape, the joys of fishing with your spouse, plus important boating and safety tips. Dorf Goes Fishing is guaranteed to be the funniest fishing video you've ever seen, and it's not available in stores. So what are you waiting for? Call and order Dorf Goes Fishing today. Call now and you'll get Dorf Goes Fishing plus this official Dorf floating keychain absolutely free.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-522-5333. The funniest, the most outrageous Tim Conway is very best. Dorf Goes Fishing. That's 1-800-522-5333 or send $19.95 plus $4 to the address shown on your screen. Order now.
We know that Michigan has the title. We also now know that the next 4 teams in the standings will open the CCHA playoffs on home ice. That also decided last weekend. Those 4 are separated by just a point, with BG alone in second at 30, while the 3 at 29 are still secure. Nobody can catch them. Michigan State's first date last week, the one that assured their home ice slot, was in East Lansing against Western Michigan. Now, the Broncos have played Michigan State and others tough while they were on the road. They did so again in this game. Kyle Millar gave the Broncos the only first-period score of the game. It was 1-0 as he notched his 10th of the year. The only score of the second period belongs to Michigan State. That's Tuzzolino. He goes in. He stopped. Renfrew gives the rebound. Don't do it. Oh, he did it. Taylor Clark picks up the puck. 6th of the year. We're tied at 1. That's where it stood going to the 3rd, and the Spartans put it away. Tuzzolino gets the feed from Sook, slides it through the 5-hole. His 8th of the campaign makes it 2-1. That'd be the game winner. Ryan Fleming got his 1st of the campaign, kind of a dribbler. No, just barely. 1st of the year, as I mentioned, 3-1 Michigan State. And Rem Murray picked up the last score of the night to put icing on the cake. Chris Smith gives it to him. Through a crowd, the defense back trying to protect the empty net. They cannot. Western Michigan's power play only had 3 chances during the night. All went for naught, while Michigan State missed on all 6 of their man advantage opportunities. Mike Buzak got the win with 22 saves. As usual, Brian Renfrew took the start for Western and finished the night with 25 stops. Saturday evening, Western went home to Kalamazoo to host Bowling Green. Brian Holzinger, power play, great feed, 30 on the year, 1-0. Bowling Green opens with a surge. Callie Perot's 12th of the campaign makes it 2-0. Hall on that assist. And then Mike Johnson picks up his 15th of the campaign, playing the rebound up out of the corner. 2nd rebound, as a matter of fact. Hall and Clark on the power play assist, 3-0. But Western Michigan comes back. Kyle Millar, 11 on the year for him. Make it 3-1. Out of the corner, Justin Cardwell slams home his 11th of the campaign, the backhander. And we go to the 2nd period, just 1 goal separating. But Jason Clark, with that nice speed, makes it a 2-goal Bowling Green lead again. Chris Brooks comes up from below the goal line, stuffs in his 5th. Now it's 4-3, 1-goal game again. Here's the tying tally. Misha Lappin, number 27, across to Jeremy Brown. He's got 23. We go to the 3rd period tied. That's where it stayed the rest of the night, though Brian Galentine had a great chance there and was turned away by Will Clark. Bowling Green gained the tie and sole possession of 2nd place with a 3 of 5 night on the power play, while their kills shut down Western to the tune of 0 for 5. But Western boss man Bill Wilkinson was still pleased with at least one aspect of it all, the way his club came from behind.
Tonight's effort was outstanding on our part after losing 3 men last night and then having been down 2 more without 5 guys in the lineup. BG had us down 3-0 very quickly, and we scraped and scrapped back in the game. And I thought Brian Renfrew just played very solid for us throughout the whole game, and especially in the 3rd period down the stretch when we needed him.
And they got a good performance. Lake Superior had the distinction of opening last weekend as the hottest team in the league. The Lakers cruised into Chicago for an important set against UIC, wearing a 6-game win streak on their crests. They finished the weekend with a streak equal to their longest skein of last year, when they stormed through the closing weeks of the campaign and straight to the CCHA final with 8 wins in a row. First night, Friday night, against UIC. The Lakers get on the board first. Joe Blasnek tips it in front on the Keith Aldridge drive, the freshman's 4th of the campaign, 1-0. But Jeff Blum brought UIC from behind. Kenoran Finn setting up. He's got a half a dozen, 1-1 the score. Sean Talaire puts the Lakers back in front. Hot off the dasher, off the side, in it goes. 17 for him. Into the 2nd we go. Lakers up 2-1. But Kevin O'Keefe on the UIC power play levels the issue with his 11th of the campaign, leaving it up to Brian Felsner to put the Lakers back in front one more time. His 17th from La Violette off the hash mark makes it 3-2. Lakers went ahead 4-2. Then Mike Perrone brought UIC back a little bit as he pops in his 13th of the campaign. That again a power play tally. And Jeff Blum ties it at 4 right here as he gets around the net. He's in front. They ship it up top. In it goes. In it goes. You bet. 7 on the year. Hudson on the assist. 4-4 to the third. That's when the Lakers won it. Danny Gallardo on the Aldrich drive gets the tip, playing the rebound. 5-4, that'd be the game winner. Rob Balasevich, unassisted, gets an empty netter for the Lakers toward the end of the contest to make it 6-4. Decisive score by Gallardo early in the third, his first game winner of the year. John Graham stopped 30 in the Laker net. Paul Spencer got 23 for the Flames in the loss. Saturday night, the Lakers came back and rang up an even more decisive verdict. Lake Superior used Sean Kulik in the net for that win. He did the job with 24 saves, and the Laker power play was better than 50% at 4-7, while they slowed the UIC power play considerably. Friday, UIC had gone 3 of 6. Saturday, it was 1 of 6. Now, 16 points won of the last 16 available. The Lakers are in a points tie with MSU and Miami for third in the league. But keep in mind, the Lakers have just 3 games left in the final 2 weeks. MSU and the Skins have 4. UIC finished the weekend in 7th place. They're 1 point ahead of Western Michigan. Ohio State won a game for its new coach. That story is next as the Digest continues.
It's tough being a fan when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if I can find last week's score. But if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News, no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and analysis, team-by-team reports, and coverage of all the college conferences, plus baseball, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues of the Sporting News. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and you'll get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-522-5333 now.
It starts with the drop. And from that point on, it's nothing but non-stop end-to-end excitement. The nation's top skaters lace them up on the college hockey game of the week. Harvard and RPI, Friday on this regional sports network.
On the road to Ohio State in a double date against the Buckeyes under new head coach John Markle, Ferris could still cling to a faint hope of gathering in a home ice date for the CCHA playoffs. But in order to do that, the Bulldogs required a sweep. Game 1. Jason Blake used his special teams expertise for a shorthander and power play goal in the first period. The second of those was the game winner as Ferris rolled to a 4-1 verdict. Jeff Blashill won it in net with 19 stops, besting Tom Askey, who turned in 25, and that kept their hope alive. But the second night, the Buckeye offense erupted like they had not all season long, scoring the first 5 goals, 4 of them in the first period. Al DePasquo's 4-on-3 power play tally in the opening frame was the game winner as the Buckeyes recorded a 4 of 7 night with the man advantage. Kurt Brown, the winning netminder, turned in a 28-save performance. That was the first win for Mr. Markle. It moved the Buckeyes to within 3 points of idle Notre Dame in the battle for the basement. At the same time, the Ferris loss eliminated them from home ice contention. They remain in 6th place, 4 points ahead of UIC with 4 games to go. Miami paid a visit to Fairbanks and came away with a split. Let's take a look at the Friday night contest as Miami paid their first visit in a while to the cold north. No scoring in the first. Second period, Pat Williams scores for UAF, his 15th from Ferguson and Millis on the power play, 1-0. Into the third we go. Andrew Miller from Boyle and Mark Tropper, 15th of the year, and Miami was 1-1, but Pat Williams got an unassisted goal to make it 2-1. It was Fairbanks back in front. Then Mark Tropper got his 3rd of the campaign on behalf of Miami. Andrew Miller on the assist. We're tied at 2. Next goal probably would win it. Next goal did win it. Joe Bodner gives it to Adam Copeland. Copeland puts it in the twine. That was that. Copeland's game winner, his first of the year. Kevin Deschambeau got a rare start in the Miami net and won it with 32 saves. Fairbanks had the only power play goal of the game. Sophomore Pat Williams had both the Nanook scores. Saturday night, little bit of a different story. Although Miami did break on top this time, Roloff gives it to Tim Leahy. The freshman from Duxbury, Massachusetts, makes it 1-0, and that carried into the second period of play when Corey Spring and the UAF offense went to work. Nice fake there, 12th of the year for Spring. We're 1-1. Then an unassisted goal for Spring. He tucks in the wrist shot, 13th of the year, 2-1. They're in front. Rob Phillips of UAF makes it a 3-1 contest with his 5th of the campaign. Ferguson and Spring on the assist. In the third period, it's Cody Boutel. Gets a feed in front. He's all alone. He's got 14 and a 3-goal lead for UAF. And Fred Scott finished it off short-handed. Neither team could manage a power play goal. They each had 5 chances. Chuck Thuss was the starting netminder for the Skins. He worked just over 54 minutes in the loss. Andy Moberg was the winning netminder for Fairbanks, and he's earned an award. Moberg is this week's CCHA Defensive Player of the Week. The junior from Innisfail, Alberta, kicked out 29 of 31, 94%, in his only shot at Miami the weekend. Included in that total, 14 straight stops in the second period when Fairbanks staged its winning rally. That was Moberg's 18th appearance this year, tying his career high that he set last season. So Miami returns to face their stretch drive. 4 straight home games close it out, with UIC in this weekend for 2, followed by singles against Michigan and Michigan State next week. The Skins are among those that can still finish second. In a moment, a chat with a champion, Red Berenson of Michigan.
Alka-Seltzer or Bromo-Seltzer? They sound the same, but there are 2 differences. Bromo-Seltzer has 29% more acid-neutralizing capacity than Alka-Seltzer. That's 29% more power to neutralize stomach acid. And Bromo-Seltzer contains the non-aspirin pain reliever used most by hospitals, while Alka-Seltzer contains aspirin. So if you want 29% more acid-neutralizing capacity and the pain reliever used most by hospitals, there's only one choice: Bromo-Seltzer.
If you think you play like this, but you really play like this, you need help. You need Leslie Nielsen, star of the new home video Bad Golf Made Easier.
Billy, the reason the game is called golf is because all the other 4-letter words have been taken.
Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier teaches you the fundamentals.
Always remember, the only really useful tip in golf is the one you give to the starter.
Secrets the pros won't tell.
Never use the comb in the blue fluid.
And how to play the problem lie. It's the smash hit home video. Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
What is our credo?
We don't play golf to feel bad.
We play bad golf, but feel good.
Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier, only $19.98. This video makes the perfect gift. Rush delivery available. Call 1-800-522-5333.
Well, Michigan has captured the CCHA regular season championship 3 times in the last 4 years. This year's is their second consecutive. And when we paid a visit to Wolverine head coach Red Berenson earlier this week, we first offered congratulations. 3 of 4 is indeed quite an accomplishment.
Oh, that's right, Chris. I've always given, our seniors the credit for leading our team through the season, and particularly winning first place, and I think this year is no exception. Players like Mike Knuble and Ricky Willis, and some of the unsung players like Timmy Hogan and Mark Sakalan and Al Sinclair, our senior defenseman. But this year's team is unique in that we've had a strong sophomore class led by Brendan Morrison that's really made a difference to our team, and of course a freshman goalie that was a big question mark in the fall. So to find ourselves in first place near the end of the season is pretty rewarding.
It came with a couple of weeks to go, though, and I'm not sure even 2 weeks ago you thought you might be able to clinch, if you did indeed clinch, at this particular time. Was there a little bit of surprise there? You got a couple of bounces when it counted.
Well, and you know, we played in a lot of close games, several overtime games, more than a few, more than we wanted to. We got through most of those games, but it came down to playing well against the teams that we had to finish ahead of, and particularly teams that were right next to us, Michigan State, Bowling Green, Lake Superior, and as I look back on the season, you know, our team did a good job against those three teams in particular.
I guess. I mean, in fact, you're 11-1-0 against the other teams in the top 5, and you swept Bowling Green and Michigan State and Lake Superior. That's hard to do.
Well, again, it was. It wasn't easy, and obviously some of those games were decided by one goal, some by overtime goals, some by goalkeeping, some by special teams. But I still have to take my hat off to our team for being able to look back and say, you know, we played well against the best teams in the league, and if you're going to be a first-place team, you should be able to beat the teams you finish ahead of. But I can't say that we dominated them, even though the 11-1 sounds pretty good, but there are a lot of good hockey games in there, and our kids found a way to win.
This team has won a championship. Last year's team won the championship as well. That team last year scored well. This one does. Played good defense. This one does. Had good goaltenders, it turned out, and this one does. A lot of the similarities as you look at stat sheets, but I wonder if this team is different than the team a year ago in terms of perhaps psychological makeup. Was it a different club, something different that you had to deal with?
Well, I think it really was, Chris. Last year's team was led by David Oliver and Brian Wiseman up front and Steve Shields in goal, and it was as easy as that. And we really looked to Oliver and Wiseman night after night. And this year, as much as Brendan Morrison is our leading scorer, Mike Knuebel's our leading goal scorer, we have a line of Kevin Hilton, John Madden, and Warren Looning, who are maybe our best line on a given night. And we have a young goalie that continues to play well, but a defense that tries to protect our goalie, and of course a team, I think more of a balanced team this year than we had last year.
In terms of Marty Turco, he's got some marvelous numbers with 22 victories, 2.82 goals against, and in the fall he was unproven. There's no doubt about that. He's a freshman. But now he's won 22 games. I think he's proven. I think he's earned his stripes. And I want to reflect back to a Bowling Green game here about 3 weeks ago. And in the first period, you could have been down 5-0, and he stood on his head. So he proved he can do that, too, and bolster you until the offense starts playing. And this kid has really matured in a hurry, hasn't he?
I think any team, Chris, that is going to win anything needs a goalie that can make a difference at a certain time in a game or a certain time in the season. And Marty Turco's been able to do that. You know, we were up at Lake Superior and we got outshot 45 to 30, and there were times where Marty was really left alone and isolated, and he was able to stay in there and make the difference in the game, and we went on to win the game in overtime. But that's the kind of goalie he has been. Now we hope he doesn't have to do that too often, but he certainly has come a long way. He's earned our team's respect, and I think earned other people's respect as well. He's obviously one of the top goalies in our league, and here he is a freshman.
I want to ask you about recruiting in the sense that this program is now ongoing. You've won 160-some games in the 90s. I think you lead the nation in the category. And you got Mel Pearson and Billy Powers who have to shoulder a lot of the recruiting responsibility. And that's essential to sustain the program. Tell me about those guys and the job they do.
Well, they do a great job, Chris, and you know, I think it's all too often that the head coaches are heard from, but not the assistants, and these guys have done a great job. Mel Pearson came here, I think, 6 years ago, and our program started to really move about that time, and it was no coincidence. Mel's been not only a solid coach, but he knows he has a sixth sense for the kind of people that will do well at Michigan as players, and I think that's the lifeblood of our program. That's the reason our program has done well. The kind of people, the kind of kids, the kind of players and students that we brought into our program. And both Billy and, of course, Billy Powers played at Michigan. He played for me. He knows the expectations here. And he got some experience in Chicago as an assistant coach. And he came back and he compliments Mel to a T. And they do the bulk of the recruiting. There's no question about it. And I follow them around and try and give my 2 cents worth on players. that they've already identified. But there's no question that we're a team as a coaching staff, but they've done a great job in bringing the right kind of kids into our program.
Okay, you've got the title clinched. You have the playoffs looming, but 4 regular season games between now and then. What's the sell? What's the thrust? What's the priority now as you prepare for March?
Well, the priority is to get our team ready to play well in the playoffs. You have to play better team defense going in the playoffs. Your special teams have to play well. You have to play with discipline, and as well as you have to get everyone ready to play. And we've got some players that haven't played as much that may get some game action, but for the most part, we want our team getting some momentum going into the playoffs. In terms of statistics, we're leading the league in goals against, and we pride ourselves on that, and that'll be important for us to maintain. We let that slip away last year, and I felt bad for Steve Shields and our defense because we did that. I think we learned from that. We want to be a better team defensively going in the playoffs. We want to have some momentum.
And you've got a shot at the big prize again.
Well, and that's one of every coach's goals, is to put your team in a position where they have a chance to win it all. And I think this team, I don't know that we're better than any of the other top teams, but I think we're competitive with them. And if we get a chance to play in a big game, hopefully we'll play well.
Red Berenson of the University of Michigan, this year's CCHA champion. Congratulations to them once again. Upcoming, as the digest winds down, we will take a look at our stats review for the week, so stay right there.
What would you do to get your kids to read?
I've tried pleading. I've tried candy.
Food, TV.
It was heavy negotiations. We even had to have a contract.
Now you don't have to bargain or plead to get your kids to read. Just give them Sports Illustrated for Kids. Here's why.
It's exciting, so they're excited to read it.
He's always reading and always asking us questions.
We have found Mark blooming with reading.
Kids love everything from the puzzles and posters to the sports stars, mazes, and games.
I like Buzz Beamer a lot because he's a goof.
But it's more than just fun. It's an education.
This opens up avenues to all sorts of educational values.
Sportsmanship,
self-esteem,
teamwork.
Sports Illustrated for Kids should be in every classroom.
Call now and use your credit card. Get a year's worth of Sports Illustrated for Kids for 4 monthly installments of $5.99. Your kids will love getting it in the mail with their name on it.
My son is reading now because of Sports Illustrated for Kids.
Give Sports Illustrated for Kids to your children or grandchildren today.
So we think reading is #1 in importance, and this is an easy way to start that process.
You don't have to be 19 to have a body like this. You don't have to work out 8 hours a day. You don't have to be narcissistic or shallow. In fact, all you really need is $39 a month. The SoloFlex Muscle Machine. What are you waiting for?
The scoring race is hotter than it's been in a while, both in the overall sense and in CCHA play. Brian Holzinger of Bowling Green, still #1 in both lists. His 60 points overall still makes a 5-point margin over Michigan's Brendan Morrison, but Morrison's been closing in recent weeks. Holzinger's 30 goals leads the category. 37 assists for Morrison leads that category. In the league race for the record, they are separated by just 1 point. Holzinger has 41 and Morrison 40. Rookie netminder John Graham from Lake Superior has had a huge hand in the Lakers' 8-game win streak, and apparently he's coming of age in the college game. His 2.79 goals against average now has him on top of the overall list involving CCHA netmen. The guy with the most victories is also a freshman. Marty Turco of Michigan now has 22 victories in his inaugural campaign. And that will do it for this edition of the Digest. Once again, congratulations to Michigan. We'll be back right here next week with another edition. So long, everybody.
Serving America's great sports networks.